Thanks for joining us for today's Northern Ag TV. Well, this week, more than 1 million FFA members across the entire country will be celebrating National FFA Week. National FFA Week is a time to celebrate and highlight agriculture education, leadership, and of course, opportunity. I was able to visit with some of the 2025 and 2026 Montana FFA state officers and the Montana FFA Foundation to discuss what goes on during National FFA Week and why it's important to highlight it. I spoke with Montana FFA's first Vice President, Cole Waldesky from Conrad, and he said that National FFA Week for him is a great opportunity to see all of the past alumni and supporters share their journey through the association.
The great thing for me about FFA Week, National FFA Week, is seeing our alumni and supporters and some of our past state officers, some of our past leaders in the organization come out and share their story and kind of show us what they did as members. And it's really cool to see how the impact of the FFA reaches across all the generations.
Now, Weston Sondino, the state sentinel from Big Timber, shared that for him, National FFA Week is a great reminder that anyone can be a part of this great organization.
I think seeing everyone's FFA story is really inspiring. I think that one of the big beauties of FFA is that anyone can be a part of it. I think that, I've heard the misconception growing up that it's just for farmers, and that can't be any further from the truth. And hearing all kinds of individuals, whether they come from urban or rural backgrounds, anyone that's, in high school to now being adults that are in the industry, in the field, that are working, it's really inspiring to see that. And it's really cool to just see how many lives FFA has truly touched across its existence.
I was also able to visit with Autumn Benson, the state reporter from Corvallis, and she said during National FFA Week, it's a great opportunity for every chapter across the entire country to highlight some traditions.
One of my favorite parts about National FFA Week is seeing every chapter's different traditions. Every chapter comes together to show off that agriculture that is part of who they are, part of who we all are, and that unites us in that blue and gold, and it's really special to see that for sure.
Now, Kiana Yeager, the state's second vice president from Fairfield, recapped how National FFA Week highlights every individual member's uniqueness, every chapter, and every level of the National FFA organization.
So I got to travel to quite a few different schools throughout this last year. And something I talked to them about was like, what are their plans? And they constantly talked about plans for FFA Week. And one thing that caught me off guard a little bit was I was talking to my home chapter, Fairfield, and they said, we're going to do an assembly to try and get these other people in our high school excited for FFA. And so it really made me realize that from nationals all the way to a small chapter in central Montana, we are trying to promote agriculture and our students are doing it. It's not just the adults.
Lastly, Megan Irion, the executive director of the Montana FFA Foundation, shared how donors and supporters can take part during this week's celebrations.
I'm proud to announce that we do have a $5,000 donor next week who is going to be giving and matching any gift that comes in next week up to $5,000. Anyone that gives next week up to $5,000 will be matched. So if you give $10, they're giving $10. So that's pretty powerful. I have to say that as I've been traveling around the state and you guys talk about this community of FFA, everyone knows everyone and is still connected and still wants to be a part of it. And if this is your way and giving, your treasure or your time, the foundation is there to guide you and help you figure out what that is that you can do.
Now, you can donate to the Montana FFA Foundation during National FFA Week or learn more at montanaffa.org. And be sure to check out our recent podcast with the state officer team and Megan Irion on our website, northernag.net, and at our YouTube, Northern Ag Network. I'm Colton Young. We'll see you next time.